Hello guys, today we'll talk about the box office here, and it's a we're starting the summer box office, so it's going to get pretty chaotic the next couple of weeks, as we have new releases coming every week. So, first movie we will be talking about is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So this movie did open to 120 million, very similar to Minions: The Rise of Gru did. I think the difference between something like Minions: The Rise of Gru and Spider-Verse is that Spider-Man is a very, you're gonna have the fanboys going out to see the movie in the previews, like Marvel movies typically do. So, like Minions, you don't really, because typically the previews is the people who want to see it, the critics and the fanboys, those types of people. And we can compare this to another movie, the Little Mermaid remake, and Spider-Verse is winning against the Little Mermaid, even with the advantage of having a 4-day weekend. Spider-Verse is winning against the Little Mermaid remake, so this movie's gonna make more money than the Little Mermaid remake. Okay, even if the Little Mermaid remake somehow breaks even, which considering the competition coming out the next couple of weeks, I think the Little Mermaid's gonna have it harder and harder and harder to release. Okay, as well. So the Little Mermaid versus Spider Verse, real good, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You compare all three movies as they open very similarly. So you have Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider Verse is doing very similarly to Guardians of the Galaxy. The difference between this and Guardians of the Galaxy is that Guardians of the Galaxy is doing poorly compared to the last movies. Meanwhile, Spider Verse is doing pretty well compared to the last movies, opening to $120 million. So the theaters, at least in America, are doing pretty well. Because you have three movies that had pretty good openings, not internationally, of course. You know, Spider-Verse is not really good. Spider-Verse didn't really do good internationally, so no surprise there. That only opened to $88 million. But let's talk about something to note here. The biggest international market for Spider-Verse at this current moment is China. Okay? They have not updated, but they basically said that it made $13 million in China. Okay? So this movie is gonna make more money than The Little Mermaid in China. Okay? But Chinese people are supposed to be the most, are supposedly racist for not watching The Little Mermaid remake. Because they don't want to grace their eyes of watching that horrible movie. Okay? The difference between Spider-Verse and The Little Mermaid is that people actually like this movie. And this movie's gonna have good ratings worldwide. Okay? That's like the first one. Okay? Probably not domestically, but I think internationally this movie's gonna have good ratings, okay? So the second movie, of course, opened to $208 million. But I'm gonna try to find the original Spider-Verse opening. We'll use Into the Spider-Verse. Put Into the Spider-Verse. So Into the Spider-Verse only opened to $21 million. So this is a massive, massive increase, okay, over the first movie. And that is a massive increase. So this movie's gonna have good ratings internationally. Okay. It is doing 4 times the international. Okay, 21 million. So we have the exact number here. It is 4.19 times the original opening. Okay, domestically it is 3 times its opening. So if the movie does exactly 3 times its opening, the original gross, the movie is making $1 billion then. Okay, if it does 3 times, it's just exactly 3 times its worldwide. I put it at 3.7. This movie has a chance of making $1 billion. At the low end, if it does 2.5 times the original Spider-Verse, you're still looking at a worldwide gross of 932 if it does 2 times Spider-Verse. What to say the movie does barely better than the first Spider-Verse is like the worst case scenario? Like a 1.4 times increase. Which is a more reasonable ending. But this movie's gonna probably make $300 million to $400 million domestically, which this ending is it's not gonna happen. It could probably also make a similar amount worldwide. So I may say opening more like 2 times its original 3 times its opening is pretty likely. But if it does open to 4 times its opening, which is not going to happen, then but if it does, that's Top Gun numbers. Okay, but there's a possibility this movie might do like Top Gun did. Okay, Top Gun opened to $120 million, and because of how well received Into the Spider-Verse is, okay, and you look at the competition that's coming out. You have Transformers coming out, which I don't really think Transformers is gonna put a dent into this movie. The Little Mermaid, I don't think really put a dent into Spider-Verse. I don't think The Flash will. Okay, and Transformers, The Rise of the Beasts. Okay, they have not up there the box office for this movie. Okay. You know, box office Pro still has it at 40 to 50 million, but all these sites say 68 to 70 million dollars. Okay. You know, and we also have numbers for Indiana Jones' Dial of Destiny. That's expected to open at 88 to 110 million. Not too surprising because people know about the plot leaks. How Indiana Jones is basically at the end of the movie is going to be replaced by Helena. Okay. But now let's go to Disney. Disney. The Little Mermaid. If I went back to these issues again. So you have the Little Mermaid remake. Okay, this is actually pretty bad because Little Mermaid was above the average movie, but it's going down in the green. Similar to Lightyear and Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania did. It's not doing as bad as those two movies because you do have the Disney fanboys, the Disney adults going to see this movie. Unfortunately, they still exist. But it's weird. It's weird that this movie is doing this well. Okay, considering all the controversy this movie has gotten. But internationally, no one seems to give a shit about this movie. Okay, this movie is still doing poorly internationally. Okay, similar to how Wakanda Forever was doing worse internationally than it was domestically. Okay. And they're saying, oh, that's pretty good rigs into that. I said, oh, the original international opening was only 63 million. Okay. It's gonna suffer once Transformers comes out. It's gonna drop to 20 million made. Okay. Probably international total of like $170 million. Okay. And probably drop to like 15, 10, 5. It's gonna drop like every time. Okay. We can also see how it's doing against Aladdin. Why does it keep doing this? Sight can't be reached. But Aladdin versus the Little Mermaid. Aladdin is... They're basically neck and neck, but Aladdin is doing better than the Little Mermaid remake. I think the problem with the Little Mermaid is you have the actual competition coming out. You have a new Transformers movie coming out. You have The Flash coming out. Okay. Both of those movies will be coming out as well. And it'll probably drop to 20 million next week. And it'll probably drop to 10 million, 15 to 12 million. It's not going to drop to 17 million like Aladdin did. Okay. And I think that's what this and Aladdin are not going to do too well. Because it'll probably do well on its... Okay, so on its 5th weekend because nothing is coming out that weekend. But again, you also still have The Flash coming out. That's going to be the number 1 movie. There'll probably be Elemental, Transformers at number 3. No, Transformers or Spider-Verse at number 3. Probably Spider-Verse will probably be... No, Elemental will probably have a huge drop. So it'll be The Flash on that weekend, number 1. Spider-Verse probably at number 2. If the movie has good legs. And... Transformers, then Elemental. Because Elemental will probably have a big drop-off too. Okay. Which will be bad for Pixar. Okay. Then next week, you're going to have Indiana Jones and Ruby Gillum, Well, that's gonna take box office for that movie. So again, it's looking at probably an end domestic probably around $238 million to $290 million internationally. So this movie will probably make around $500 to $600 million, like I said it would, worldwide, which is abysmal for this movie. Okay, abysmal. Okay, especially if some sources project that this will make $790 million. Because this movie, they spent more marketing than the average movie for this movie. Okay, for $140 million for marketing. Okay, as well. So this movie might need $800 million to break even. Which the real moment isn't making $800 million. Okay. As well. Next is The Boogeyman. Again, another movie that's gonna probably lose money for Disney. Okay. Which is a horror movie. And horror movies are supposed to typically do better than the typical movie. But again, even Disney is screwing this up as well with The Boogeyman. Okay. Megan and Scream were pretty successful earlier this year. They were horror movies. Even a movie like Knock at the Cabin, that it's gonna make money. But Disney, it seems that Disney is now even having the horror movies fail, which is funny. Couldn't happen to a better company. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, nearing 800 million worldwide. Again, this movie is massively slowing down as the other movies start to come out. It also dropped 51% because Spider-Verse came out and Spider-Verse took money away from Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think this movie has made its money back. So, good job for Disney finally making a successful movie. Next is Fast X, which this movie continues to lose money. I don't think this movie is going to make back its money. It's doing awful domestically. Okay, it's underperforming globally. Okay, especially in China. This movie is going to lose money. Simple as that. This movie is going to lose a lot of money. This movie needs to make $840 million to break even. I don't know how this movie is going to make $200 million more worldwide. But, yeah, this movie is going to lose a lot of money at the very end of it as well. But it still did beat The Little Mermaid internationally, which is funny. Next is the Mario movie, which made $1.3 billion as well. Mario movie is basically almost done of its theoretical run. It's losing a lot of feeders. $566 million. Okay. Yeah. About my father. No one's watching this. Essentially. Next is The Machine. Again, another box office failure as well. You know, who made this? I wonder who made this. Sony Pictures. And Lionsgate is known for making box office failures. I'm surprised Lionsgate isn't bankrupt at this point. But other than that, most of the movies like Book Club and stuff are out of theaters now. John Wick is done, essentially, as well. Ant-Man, I don't know why they brought that back into theaters. But yeah, that is it about this box office here. Goodbye.